are already on day 5 of my 10 Days of Love Valentine's Day special. Today's title is Real Love Has Ups and Downs. And let me go ahead and turn on the clicker so we can remember, or the ticker so we can remember what this topic is about. So, real love has ups and downs. So, if you've been following this series, I've talked about different types of things in regards to love. Love being just love in all the aspects of love. Love has how we see love, how we view love, what love means, how we define love, um, love being steady. Just all the things that love is created of. And today I wanted to talk about how love has its ups and downs. And the reason why this topic is important is because just as most things, life, right? Most things in life, there are going to be trials and tribulations, there's going to be ups and downs. So, especially relationships will have trials and tribulations and ups and downs. But the problem is, a lot of times people are not sure how to work through the hard times and the difficult times. Or shall I say, when their relationship are on the downs as opposed to the ups, because they have this idea that everything's supposed to be perfect at all times, and that's not the case. And I'm not saying this is everybody all the time. Make no mistake about that. But I know from experience, just like I know talking to people, that there are times in our relationships, especially when you've been with someone for a while, where it seems like the relationship is on this down, and the down seems to be lasting a lot longer than you're comfortable with. And so you're not really sure what to do, right? And you start to feel, okay, are we really fixing the problem? Are we ignoring the problem? Are we discussing the problem? Or do we know how to handle the problem? Are we using the right tools to get to the other side? And the crazy thing about it is, a lot of times in relationships, we don't even really know what the problem is. You know what I mean? It could be something so small, and it's not really what caused the disrupt in the relationship. It'll be that one thing, what they say, the straw that broke the camel's back. It'll be that one thing that caused a slight disruption or disruption in the relationship that caused a disconnect between you and your partner for a long time. And the thing about it, you never really know how to get back to where you were. Now, granted, you'll have those big storms that come through. You guys know what those big storms are. You're talking about infidelity. You're talking about lying, cheating, or just whatever you define in your relationship that goes against what the foundation of your relationship is built on, right? Those things take time. Okay, I get it. Those things take time. Those things are things that you have to talk with the coach, your counselor, your pastor, whoever. But then there's those other things that's not as big as that sometimes we seem to get off track with our partner. It's like we just can't. It seems like every little thing we start to picking and probing and poking, and we just don't know what it is. How do we fix that? How do we realize that this is just part of life? This is part of any type of relationship. This is part of a love relationship. Because everything about you and your partner, you're not going to love, right? You may like, but you're not going to necessarily love. Just about yourself. You love your life, but there's parts about your life, as I'm talking about your individual life, there's parts about your life that you want to tweak, whether it be you want to make more money, you want to live in a bigger house, you wish you had more education, you wish you had this, whatever. You might like some things, but you want to be able to, you wish you could change a few more things. You don't love it, you like it. And so that's the same way it is in your relationship. It may come a time where there are some things in your relationship that you realize that it's come up, it's unexpected, and you really don't know what to do in this situation. And so I wanted to come on today and talk about ways in which to kind of handle those ups and downs in your relationship when you don't know what quite to do. You've talked to your friends about it, you've talked to your family members about it, you've talked to your parents about it, and you just don't know how to get back on track. But I want to suggest first to write it down. Write down the part of your relationship that you are not happy with, right? Write down the things that are making you unhappy, and then write down the things that you are happy about. Start there first. And then for the things that you are unhappy about, write down why you are unhappy with those things. The same thing for the things that you are happy about. For the things that you are happy about, why are you happy with those things? Right? Then, once you do that, have your partner to do the same thing. Have your partner do the same thing. And if you want to, you can swap information. You can share notes. You can sit down and talk. Your partner say one thing, you say one thing. You don't argue about it. You just say, hey, I enjoy this about our relationship, or I love this about our relationship. And then you allow your partner to say what they enjoy, what they love about your relationship. And then you also say, you know what? I don't like this about our relationship. And then you give your partner the opportunity to say what they don't like about your relationship. You don't argue about it. You just talk about what's on your paper. And then if you want to discuss each topic or each note in detail, you can do so. Only if you know you will do it from acceptance. In other words, you're listening to what your partner has to say. Okay? That's it. You cannot say, well, why is it that you don't like this? Or I did this. No, none of that. You listen. It's about listening and receiving the message that your partner is saying to you. Because see, what we need to realize and understand, that a lot of what we go through, it's about communication and really listening, active listening to your partner. And that's it. But then if you need some additional tools, I have some things for you guys. First things first. Once you've done all that, continue to do it. Always continue to write notes. Always continue to write lists. Always sit down and have a conversation. But also schedule a date night. Send the kids to your parents' house. Get a babysitter. Whatever you have to do. And if it's not just for one night, do it for a weekend. And please, please, please. I know we are in the month of love, being that this is my 10 days of love for Valentine's Day special or Valentine's special, but showing your partner how much you love them is just not about February the 14th or the month of February. It's all the time. So date night is just not about February the 14th. It's about all the other days of the year as well, right? So schedule a date night, or schedule a date weekend, or a getaway weekend, or a short mini vacation, or a week's long vacation, whatever you can afford. Whatever you can do, whatever. And when I say afford, I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about because you got to put pieces in order. You got to take time off your job. Whatever you can afford to do, do it. Because your relationship, your marriage, your love is important. If it's important to you, you will do whatever needs to be done. So do that first. Start after you do the notes, after you do the list, then do a getaway. It can be a night, it can be a weekend, it can be whatever. From there, make sure that you remember to turn down the volume on your life. Yeah, turn down the volume on your life. And what that means is take time, shut down all social media, shut down the TV, and just be in the moment with your partner. And if you choose to watch a movie, watch the movie together. Sit down and watch a movie together. Find one that you and your partner both can enjoy. Like they say, Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill. Put the kids to bed or whatever and just relax, right? Turn down all outside noises. Turn down all the things that are causing stress in your life. Don't think about anything. Don't think about bills. Don't think about the kids. Don't think about anything. Just be in that moment. You will be amazed of how rejuvenated you will feel when you've had that quality time with your partner. You'll be amazed how much a difference it'll make in your relationship. Okay? And then don't forget about self-care. Because see, sometimes, and I think self-care is probably the most important part of this. Because see, sometimes we will put the onus on someone else when it's actually us that needs to take care of ourselves. Meaning that we may have some things that we're not comfortable with within ourselves, or some things that we need to work on. And instead of us being honest and upfront about what's going on with us, we'll put the onus on somebody else. I remember when I was married, if I gained, like especially after I had my son with my husband, right? Specifically my second husband. I remember when I had my son with my second husband. Because my first husband, I was 22 when I had my first husband. So when I had my first son, so my mindset was a little different. But when I had my second son, I was a little older, right? And so when I had him, I remember that my weight was such a big deal to me. It's like I remember, like when I would see people, I had to always announce to them, oh, I just had a baby. Especially if I was somewhere and my child wasn't with me. If my child wasn't with me, I had to make sure that I told them I just had a baby, because I didn't want people to know that I was just this big for no reason. I wanted them to know that I just had a baby. And so I found myself being that way with my husband as well. When it came time for us, or when I would come out the shower, I would always put a towel on, because I didn't want him to see me with my fupa, because I'm still, have this stomach after having this baby, this big old baby with this big old head. And I felt some kind of way about it. So I had some insecurities. Instead of me dealing with those insecurities, I made it uncomfortable in our relationship. So those were some things that I had to do, right? It wasn't on him to fix it for me. I had to fix it for myself. So that was about my self-love, right? But at the same time, those things may have caused trouble in my relationship. And I know that it did. So I had to work on me. I had to lose the weight. I had to do what I needed to do to make sure that I was comfortable in my skin, so that it would not affect our relationship. So that's the part of self-love that we have to take care of, because if not, it will spill over into our relationship. And then, like I said before, assess the happiness. And this comes from, or the unhappiness, this comes from writing down, having a list of the things that make you happy, the things you love in your relationship, and then the things that you don't love in your relationship. So you need to do a real and honest assessment of your relationship, right? That will help tremendously. And then consider, if all else fails, consider outside help. You can go to a coach, you can go to a counselor, you can go to a therapist, you can go individually, you can go as a couple, right? And I would suggest that if you're going to seek any type of outside help, I would suggest that you go individually and as a couple. Then that way you can know that if you're dealing with some things personally that you didn't know that may be problems in your relationship, you can deal with those issues. And then that way you and your partner can tackle whatever issues that you have in your relationship, right? Because sometimes it's easier to fix than we think it is. And I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds easier said than done, but it is. It is. It's easier to fix than we think it is. You look back on life and time has gone on and you've been through so many trials and tribulations of life. And then you start to realize what's important and what's not important. And when you think about the things that has happened and you're looking up and you're like, you know what? It wasn't that bad after all. And like I always tell you guys, if you watch any of my videos, I'm not telling y'all what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I have no regrets about my life, and please don't say that I do. I don't. But I also know that moving forward, or should I say looking back and moving forward, there are some things that I could have done differently in those processes. There are some things I could have done differently, right? But we live and we learn and we move on. Being that I am in this space, I want to make sure that I am able to bring everybody all the lessons that I've learned, the information that I've had, the knowledge that I have through education, experience, whatever. Because trust me, you want to be in a space where you say, you know what? I've done the work. I've done what needs to be done. And if at that moment you realize that you've done everything and maybe it's still not enough, then you can take alternative measures. But in the meantime, you want to be able to say you've done what needs to be done, right? You've invested what needs to be invested, right? Okay, before we do anything else. Because like I've always said, I want to see us, ride this thing out. Because as we get older, no one wants to be by themselves. Everybody wants that partner, that ride or die partner where you can be like in a car, you old, he old, or you and whoever you with. Y'all old, riding in your doggone convertible, going down the highway, just both retired, living your best life, right? I mean, granted, it's always good with a friend, but it's better with a partner, a love partner, a life partner, preferably a spouse, regardless of your definition of spouse, right? Spouse is anything to anybody, whatever it is for you, that's what I'm talking about, because that's what it's about. Life is about two things: living in love. That's it. Living in love. That's all life is about: living in love. All right. So I hope you guys continue with me on this 10 days of love. And this is the end of our day 5. Oh, we're halfway through this. We're halfway through this Valentine's special. And I hope you guys follow up with day 6 and all the way to day 10. And if you are not following me on social media, please do so at Coach Yasheka on Instagram and also on Facebook and YouTube at The Art of Dating. And please be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on the social media sites. I am Yasheka Foster, affectionately known as the Artist of Dating. I empower successful women to date through self-discovery while finding their life partners with the tools necessary to balance it all. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.